Like it or not, whether you love the sound of his voice or can't stand just the utterance of his name, Donald J. Trump will be the nominee for the Republican Party. And Donald J. Trump will win the 2024 general election. Stay tuned. I'm going to tell you how this is going to get done. There's a movement happening in America. I understand that a lot of people just don't have the time to take and digest in all of this rigmarole, which everybody calls the political arena. Now, here's the deal, my friends. You do not have to digest this stuff on a regular basis to feel the impact of it in your daily life. The reason why they call it a MAGA ascension, and the reason why the deep state and the mainstream media are just absolutely freaking out right now, is simply because more Americans are waking up by the thousands every single day and becoming more self-aware of the reality in front of them. They're not biting the BS sandwich anymore, basically, which means they're actually starting to become participants in the game rather than being the spectators on the sideline. See, here's the problem we've been running into for the last 25 years. You and I were asleep at the wheel, and these son of a bitches basically took charge and took control. See, now it's our turn. I've said it in prior videos. We can't get mad anymore. Getting mad brings us nowhere. What we need to do is get even. The way we do that is by showing up, engaging in the process, and actually being a participant in the game. See, these people are scared of you. They are scared of you in a very big way. And the reason why they're scared of you is because when we multiply and start sharing the information amongst our groups and people become more aware of what's actually going on, you can see through their BS. See, this has been the problem since the beginning. It's not so much that, you want to be right, I want to be right, everybody want to be right. Everybody had their own flavor of, let's say, news. And depending upon who you trusted, that would become basically your Bible of where you got the true and so information per se, right? But here's the deal. Everybody's starting to, poke around a little bit more, start to pay attention a little bit more. And a lot of the things that continue to keep happening, regardless if you're on one side of the fence or the other, you start to realize that they're not making sense. And everything that they're trying to portray out in the mainstream is just complete and utter nonsense. No, you and I, we have to be participants in the game. And how we do that is by basically getting involved at the local level. That's one way. The other way is basically by, calling your local congressman, getting into the stuff that those individuals don't want you to get into. Rooting around in the articles, into the legislation, into their voting history. See, these people have been trying to hide what it is they've been doing for the past 25 years. And they got away with it for a long time. And then all of a sudden, this guy, who had no reason to run for office and still basically has no reason for running for office, decided to run, came down the escalator, and from that moment on, he has had a target on his back, and every person within the intelligence community and within this government has been trying to find a way to take him out. Now, if you're a person who doesn't digest this every single day, or just listens to the mainstream media, which has been touting this bullshit for a very, very long time, you will come to the realization that, what they've been saying doesn't make any sense. And the more and more they continue to keep hitting and beating on President Trump, his popularity continues to keep going up and up and up and up. Now, that would seem, that's ridiculous, right? The reason why is because everybody's starting to be aware of the fact that what they are touting every single day, the nonsense they continue to keep spewing, is in fact what Donald Trump had been saying from the beginning. It's all fake news bullcrap, right? See, when you speak truth and you speak from truth and you speak with an authenticity like Trump does in truth, you don't have to sell it to people. People just will naturally gravitate towards it. And that is why you keep seeing this ascension that continues to keep happening. Because again, you don't have to sell people on this. You just have to discover it for yourself. I've always said you don't have to sell people on the truth. Just point them in the direction. Say, look, I know that you and I disagree on this stuff, but just watch this. Just watch this and let's have a conversation about it, okay? Just watch this. This is what this whole thing's been about. It's been trying to draw lines in the sand and say, hey, you don't agree with that person because they think this and they think that. But in reality, that's not the truth. See, the mainstream media has pinned you and I against each other for years. I've been saying for a very, very long time, deep down the heart of America, most people, the ones that get up every single day and work a 9 to 5, some of them 2 9 to 5s, those people, they're all in the same boat and they're all seasick together. They've just been told they're not. And what I want to try to do is unite this country. The big thing that Donald Trump did, which Joe Biden ran on the platform of uniting America, it's so crazy. The Democrats haven't come up with a decent idea in decades. Okay, and this is not pinning it on Democrat, Republican, but the reason why that party sucks is because they're a party of no ideas. The reason why the Republican Party is even worse is because they pretend to be what they aren't. And then in reality, we all suffer the consequences for what it is that they do in this uniparty type thing. Hopefully the wind isn't drowning me out here. It's a little windy out here today. But here's the point. You and I are the antidote to all this chaos. I've been saying this for over 2 years now. And again, I know I'm not one of those people that tout my own horn or anything like that, but if you go back and listen to some of the things I've been saying for the last 15 years, my old YouTube videos and whatnot, it's the same story. I've been talking about this for the last 20 years because this stuff is the exact same manuscript, the exact same playbook that these people within the deep state have been doing for a very long time. And once they started going after Donald Trump, who I did not vote for again in 2016, but I watched him play itself out, and within the first 100 days, that man did exactly what he said he was going to do. And then he did all the rest of his business under the most maximum amount of scrutiny, with the government constantly going after him and working against him whilst he was in office. Now you think about that for 1 minute. I'm gonna flip this around because it's really, really windy. You think about that for a minute. Donald J. Trump, his own cabinet, was working actively against him whilst he was the president of the United States. And none of those people have ever served 1 day in jail. That is treason. And what's also treason is the stolen 2020 election. If you don't believe that that election was stolen, the reason why we're experiencing the shit that we're experiencing right now, and I was trying not to cuss, but the reason why is because you don't steal an election unless you have an intention of doing something with it. These people stole this election so blatantly, and anybody who's ever worked in elections knows. But because the Soros people and all the hooks that these people have had for years in putting the right people in their positions, just turned against the country when we needed them most. We didn't realize the power attorney generals have, and these state certifiers. We didn't realize all of the stuff, but we know now. And again, this is the one thing about falling flat on your face sometimes. We know their tricks. We know where they're coming. And we know what they're doing. And America now is tired of it. Now we're really tired of it because now you can experience it. You're feeling it in your pocketbook every single day. You're feeling it anytime you try to get a loan, anytime you try to gap your expenses with a credit card. You're feeling this every single day. You're no different. I'm no different. But the thing is that we got to stop fighting amongst each other. See, the antidote to this chaos is us, you and me, which is to make America great again. That's what this whole movement is. It's not what the media says. And anybody who keeps believing that bullshit, that's the reason why you can't have a conversation with the person next to you, simply because you're not actually listening to what's really going on. See, the way you discover what the truth is by looking into it to yourself. I've had this conversation before, but you have to do the work. And if you haven't done the work, basically you're walking into this world in an ignorant manner, pretending that you have the know-how on what's really going on. So you're playing a sucker. Don't be the sucker. You're smarter than that. These people are betting on the fact that you're going to do nothing, and they're going to run the tables behind your back. Just look at what's happened in 3 years. 3 years' time after a stolen election. 3 years. They are driving this country into the ground on purpose, so that you and I never have a shot. We'll never be able to hit the high mark anymore because we will be knocked to our knees. And that is the whole game at play. The antidote to this chaos, whether you like the sound of his voice or can't stand his presence, is Donald J. Trump. I hate to say that. I was one of those people who never would ever say, oh, I'm going to root. No. Time matters. And this is the only answer to this chaos in the gravity of things. So we need to start figuring out which line of the sand we stand on, because our country needs us now. It needs you. You are the antidote to this chaos. And I certainly hope I see you on the battlefield. Trump needs every single one of us. So let's do this. Let's take this country back. All right, folks. I'll see you soon. Take care. Peace.